Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20, and welcome to episode 36 of Direwolf20's Satisfactory Let's Play series, where today I would like to get batteries going. So for that, I've, in advance, you can see it right over there, Conveyor Belt Mark V, it's sulfur. I got sulfur over there. And then I've prepared my refinery, which is going to take 50 sulfur per minute, plus 50 water per minute, will yield 50 sulfuric acid per minute. Cool? Cool. Now, in order to use that sulfuric acid to make batteries, we're going to need the blender. Now, the blender takes 50 sulfuric acid per minute, which is exactly what we're making. So it's one refinery to one battery maker, right? And then there's alumina solution, which is a little bit of a problem because we're taking 40 alumina solution away from our system right now, and our system is perfectly balanced such that all the alumina solution that we use turns into 50% water, right? So 360 alumina solution comes in, 180 water goes out. And we've balanced the production of water with the making of aluminum to make sure that we don't ever backstuff water in this machine. Because if this machine fills up with water, it will stop producing aluminum scrap. And that would be bad. And we don't want that to happen. So we need to account for that. And this is a 50%, so it's 360 turns into 180. This alumina solution is a little different in that it's taking 40 M3 of alumina solution and it's making 30 water. So that's 75% difference. So that's going to be a little bit of an issue, but I think I've come up with a solution, and it's something new that was added in Update 4, and that is valves. So if we were to place a valve here, for example, like right here, okay, we can have as much water as we want in this dude, and we can limit it right here by saying only 360 cubic meters per minute are allowed to pass through this valve that we just added. So what that should do is, no matter how much excess water we're producing at the pumps, only 360 will ever be able to pass through this valve, which is right before the junction that connects the extra 180 coming in here, because that's how much we need, right? We need 180 times 3 water over here for our bauxites, if you remember from a few episodes ago. So that's 540 water, minus the 180 that's being made in the aluminum scrap maker yields 360 excess water required. So if we set this valve limit to 360, we can make as much water as we want over here, and it doesn't matter, and that's pretty cool. So now we can add into this system, we can bring alumina solution over to this thing and not worry about producing or underproducing water, right? I mean, over or underproducing. So we don't worry about overproducing because we're limiting how much is allowed to flow through this valve. So I think, and this is the first time I'm ever setting this up, but I'm pretty sure that sounds right in my head. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to dismantle this blender here, and we're going to line him up along next to this guy, right? And I need to rotate him so the inputs are here. Okay, and basically we want to get the aluminum casings coming in, and then alumina solution and water. So can I tap one of these guys like right here-ish? Right? Because that's the alumina solution going through this valve, right? Yes, that is alumina solution. And then we're going to make Mark II pipes come over-ish to, let's say, I kind of want you to be a little bit cool and nice looking. So if I did that, you're a little bit in my way, aren't you? Yeah, not ideal. Not ideal. Is that nice and straight looking? And then you could run straight into that. And then, I mean, these don't have to be Mark IIs, by the way, but yeah, this works. Right? That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Okay, and then just connect you up to power, my friend. And you're getting your alumina solution that we need. Now, you also need to be connected to power, and we're going to tap some extra water into you, right? And then we don't want to forget about the water output here, which I'm going to feed into this guy. So we're going to need another valve in a minute, but you'll see how this is going to work, right? So we're going to have another junction pipe right about here. So that he can get water into this dude. And then we're going to have a Mark 1 lift, because he only needs 50 sulfur per minute. And I should really make you, well... what I should do is make you Mark 3 lifts by default. Cool. Ah. Poison bad. Now, eventually, maybe we'll have like a splitter coming off of this or something. We'll figure it out. But essentially, you're going to do that, right? And you're going to get the sulfur going in. And you'll be making sulfuric acid. Cool. At 50 per minute. And then you'll be coming in here. Now, what I want to do is have another valve coming in probably here-ish. Because we want to have the water output accounted for, right? So we want to assume that we're getting 30 water per minute here as an output. Now, unfortunately, he's going to be a little bit messy, but it's fine. We're going to make sure that we have plenty of room for this. Maybe not. I want to bring it very close because I don't know how many batteries I'm going to need in the long run. I may need to have multiple battery machines, so I want to be prepared for that. So I'm going to bring this all the way over to here. You're going to tap into the water, okay? And then we're going to have a junction pipe here so that you can connect, okay? But then we want to have a valve because you need 50 and you're making 20, or you're making 30, so that's a difference of 20. So we want 380 on this valve, right? So you need to be a valve set to 380. And I'm assuming this doesn't need power, right? Okay, I'm assuming this doesn't need power. They don't seem to connect to power, so that's cool. Alright, so 380 is going to come in here, and then the excess water is going to fill that dude. And that should be good. Right? Now, what did I... Yeah, this valve I don't want anymore. That was a valve we didn't need. Okay? So that's cool. Okay? So you're making the sulfuric acid that I need. You're going to come over here, and then we just need some aluminum casings to make their way in. And that would be these guys. So you're going to also run... and it's going to be a little dire-wiry, I ain't going to lie. That looks pretty good, right? Just be prepared for some things, right? Maybe not quite that far, so maybe halfway. Yeah, I like this. Okay, and then what we could have is up one, a splitter, just in case we ever decide, hey, you know what? I need 2 of these, right? Now we've got that capability. So you're going to start making batteries for me, and that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And then if we ever need more batteries, we could have another blender sitting right here, and that should work, right? Now remember, we were producing just enough water over here, so what I should do is I should reconnect this pipeline to this guy. So now he's going to produce as much water as he possibly can, and I'm okay with that. because we're limiting the amount of water that's allowed to come in here on this guy. So he's going to start hitting that flow rate maximum at 380, and then he'll be fine, right? And I'm not too worried about that. And that should be cool. Now, he has less of a flow rate right now because we're backstuffed on aluminum. So, like, we're not too worried about aluminum production at the moment. See? Like, aluminum's not flowing, so we don't need more water. But we're good on water. We're not backstuffing. Like, this water is not filling up, and that's what's key. Is every time one of these guys produce, it prioritizes pulling water out of here because of the valve. It doesn't really prioritize, it just limits how much water is allowed to come from our water pumps, so that we guarantee we use this water in addition to the other water. Does that make sense? I think so. It kind of seems to. I don't know. I'm hoping that that's right. It seems right. We'll figure it out. But either way, we're making batteries. And I'm very excited about that. So now, let's get ready to pipe batteries out of this thing. Right? And we can feed them into a similar kind of storage container. What I'll probably want to do is line it up. Like that-ish. How cool does that look? Oh yeah, buddy. That is cool. That is cool. And then what we can have is our drone port for transportation set up kind of here. Right? And so it looks like batteries have to go into this spot. And then items that you want to transport go into this spot. Okay? So we're going to want to figure out how that's going to work out. But effectively, I want you... And it's a little bit dire wiry, but what are you going to do? To go up like that. Okay. So then you'll get your batteries once you have a connection to power. Cool? Yes, he's filling up with batteries now. Look at that. Awesome. So that wasn't actually too bad. And if I'm right, we should, in theory, never backstuff water in any of our machines. Because of the valves. Because of the valves. Look how cool this blender is, by the way. This is the first time I'm checking out the blender. Look at it, though. It's mixing the two different kinds of liquids. How awesome is that? And I'm assuming it's like a yellowish solution because it's got sulfuric acid in there. I wonder if there's other blender recipes and they'll have different colorings. But that's really neat. And you can kind of see it, like, making the things, which is cool. Yeah. The models in this game are literally just the best. The best. So what kind of stack sizing are we talking about here? 100-ish? I don't know. I don't know how high batteries stack to. Maybe 100, maybe 200. We'll probably find out. But that looks pretty good, right? I like it. I like it. I definitely like it. So now what we'll want to do is we're going to want to have a splitter. And then we're going to want to have a merger. Is that what you are? No. Man, I love this flight thing. It's the best. We can kind of boop over that. That looks good. I mean, looks good as a relative term, but it looks okay. Not terrible. Let's have a little bit more foundationing so that we can run you Will you run nicely, like a good friend, right over this? Mark 5. That actually is pretty well lined up. The dire wire is getting real right now, let me tell you. Right? And then you... I want a conveyor belt Mark 3 for this. And a conveyor belt Mark 3 for this. So that you guys merge these two resources in a relatively even manner. See that? And again, never used drones, never used drone ports before, so kind of figuring it out as I go along. Looks like batteries stack up to 200. I doubt it's 500. I think the only other resource, well, like, quick wire and concrete are the only two resources I can think of off the top of my head that stack to 500. So I'm assuming batteries are 200. Cool. All right. So now let's go, and like, these doohickeys, and you know what else I might want to bring over is quartz. That might be a thing that we have to get over there somehow, some way. I just have to figure out how I'm gonna do that in a way that's not terrible. What I'll probably have to do. Do we think? I wonder if I can I disconnect you? Can we backstuff that stuff now and that would be okay? I think we can do that. I'm gonna make you Mark 5 belts so that it kind of prioritizes those. I don't know if that's the way it's really gonna work, but I'm hopeful that by doing that, it kind of makes that a priority, if you will. I guess we'll find out how right we are about that. But I'm hoping that none of these will ever back stuff. If they do, we'll go back to syncing the quartz. Right? So that's not bad. Now, how about you? Could I have a splitter by chance? That might be doable. I guess we'll find out if that works. But does that work now? Do splitters... Oh, that's cool. Do you not have to do that sneaky thing that I've done forever? Because that would be neat if you didn't have to do that no more. I can't run this over the roof. I'd love to be able to run it, like, right on top of these guys. But we're encroaching on somebody's clearance. I don't know what your clearance level is. It might be because of this, right? Like that's the actual height of the bounding box. Let's see if we can do, just for fun. You don't even want to render me putting it there. It's like, no, don't even think about it, Direwolf. What in the world are you thinking? That's what it's saying to me right now. It would be awesome if I could just kind of like run this across the roofs. it would be a little bit cool. That's all I'm saying. Looks like around here-ish is where it's okay to do that at. Floor is too steep? Yeah, I bet. Like I could technically build it here. I'm just saying that's a valid connection point. Is it ridiculous yet? I think so. There's a spot where it's okay to build it. At this point, it's just like, let's... Have I completely given up on a nice-looking factory? I'm not going to say yes. I'm not going to say yes. But, you know. But... Are you, like, right underneath these things? You are. What are the chances that I can connect you to something like this? And then you. Encroaching on another's clearance, huh? I might need to go 1 or 2 stacks taller. We're still encroaching on that dude's clearance? Come on, bro. Still encroaching? Come on. What I would love is if you were, like, well aligned here. I might be able to make this happen. And at this point, it's just... At this point, it's just how can we make this happen? That's all I want to know. Still encroaching. That looks good. So if we disconnected you, connected you like so, now you might need, and I'm going to make you a Mark III lift, but we're going to do something like this, and then to here, and then you're going to get quartz into that bad boy? Eh? That could be cool. That could be cool. I'm just saying. Now, putting 3 resources into 1 drone port may be a bad idea. I don't know. We're learning. We're going to find out. But the plan is, right, is that this is a Mark V belt, right? And these are all Mark III inputs, realistically. Like, I'm going to make this a Mark III as well. Even though this belt's a Mark III, so it's still limited. But these are all Mark III inputs, right? So Mark III is 270. This is 780, so 270 and 270 is 540, right? And then another 270. So I mean, it's still 8 something if you combine them all together, but it's close to. It should kind of stagger them like we're starting to see here. So what I'm going to do just for fun, can I void you guys? And what I'd like to see, and yes, I just voided a bunch of resources. Boo-hoo. I've got, like, a stupid amount of those already, remember? Right? Okay? I ain't losing sleep over that. Okay? Can we not make a big deal out of nothing? Okay? Because we're producing tons and tons of this stuff. To the point where I really just don't care. So, this should pretty evenly fill up, right? Yes, if you account for the fact that the 2 aluminum products stack to 200 and the quartz stacks to 100. That's why we have 2 stacks of quartz for each 1 stack of the other thing. And also remember, because of the way I deleted things, we're going to have a little bit more aluminum casing for a minute, but that's not a big deal. So I think that'll be okay. We might run into some backstuffing problems at some point, but we'll deal with that when the time comes. We'll find out what happens. So let's go set up the other drone port, shall we? So we're gonna do that, and I'm gonna bring it over to kind of where my computer production is, and we're kind of just winging it right now. I might wind up repositioning this a little bit, and don't forget, there's lots of improvements we can make to some of our tier 1 resources, like lots and lots of improvements that we can make over here. Whoop, whoop, whoop. It's the best. It is just the best. All right. So if we had a drone port over here, right? Like, we might turn this into steel-based screws or something. There's a lot of alternate recipes we've learned. There's a lot of things that we can improve. But, like, let's get the basics going, and then we'll look at improvements, right? So I'm probably going to want a drone port here. Okay, and he can output over there-ish. Right? And this is, we're going to treat it kind of like the train system with the rubber and the plastic, right? Where it'll split and then also go into a MAM, or like a auto, whatchamacallit thingy, right? So first things first, power. Okay. And then this port, drone port 1 to this port. Right? So that means that that guy over there will bring aluminum and quartz to here, and this one, if it were given any items, which it won't be, could send it back. Alright? And it looks like it's going to need 5 batteries per round trip. So we'll deal with the routing of items out of this in a minute. First things first, though, what I'd like to do, just noticed I was a little low on health, is place my drone on the pad over here and see how it works. Because I'm excited to see it fly. I'm very excited to see it fly. I hope it's, like, relatively quick. I'm not sure. I suspect the throughput of trains is going to be better, but drones will obviously be simpler to do because you don't need to have railways. But let's find out, shall we? So I'm going to build a drone. It looks like you have to build it. It's snapping to the drone port, so you have to build it on a drone port, which makes perfect sense. Cool. Is he loading up? He might be, because he, you know, something. Oh man, look at that. How cool is that? Oh, that's awesome. Dude, that is so cool. That is really awesome. Look at that. Look at it go. Whoa, it's faster than I thought it would be. Holy cow, look how fast it is. It is a lot faster than I thought it would be. So it doesn't have a huge inventory space, but it's pretty good. It doesn't hold as much inventory as the buffer does. It looks like it holds about 9-ish stacks. Is that an accurate assessment? But wow, was that fast. It zoomed over to here. Holy cow. I had no idea what to expect, but that was cool. And then look, he lands, and he's going to unload incoming transfer rate. And he's going to unload over here, right? And that'll be cool. Can I actually open the UI of the drone itself? Oh look, here's all the stuff. Nice. And he's taken off. Look at that door opening and closing. That's great. Isn't that cool? Excuse me, sorry, sir. Dude, I love drones. They are cool. Look at, like, the jet engine thing on the back, too. Oh, that is awesome. Look at it go. Look how fast it is, too. Like, clearly meant for, like, long distance stuff because of how fast it's moving, but that is cool. So what's this batteries per minute? The battery throughput required to meet the round-trip requirements for a single drone. I don't know what that means. I guess we'll figure it out. And the round-trip time, why is that listed as NA? I don't know. Maybe drone port 1 will tell me that? Drone status docking. That's cool. Status is a check. Neat. So then what we're going to want to do is output this guy. Right? And he's going to do the things. And then what we're going to want is logistically, organizationally, we're going to want a couple storage containers. just the right direction it. Right? And we'll want some smart splitters. So we're going to need some AI limiters. So give me a sec. Production, crafting, station. Can you tell I really like flying? Can you tell how much I like flying? I'm not sure if you can tell. I'm not sure if you can tell. But I really do enjoy it. Okay. So what we're going to have here then is smart splitters. Smart splitter. Smart splitter. Right? So left will be overflow, and center will be aluminum casings. Left will be overflow, and center will be aluminum alclad sheets. And then left will be overflow, and center will be quartz. Will that work? Will that sort properly? We're about to find out. Actually, no. Center should be overflow. And right should be aluminum alclad sheets. And then center should be overflow, and right should be raw quartz. Right? And then we will have a awesome sink set up here, connected to some kind of power line, right? And that'll be your sorter, right? So everything that comes over here will either be will be sorted appropriately, right? So there you're getting that, that, and that. Now this means we will never back stuff on any of these resources, right? But the only other solution would be to have 3 drone ports, 1 for each resource, right? But I think I'm okay with that. I think I'm okay with that, right? So I think that's cool. Yeah? So all of your aluminum casings are coming in here, and this should sort appropriately. Alcad sheets and then raw quartz. And that should be good, right? And then overflows will literally just go into the awesome sink. I like this. All right. So that's battery production, drone ports, and getting these resources that we need over to our crafting area here. I'm hoping this is where it's going to stay. We'll find out. But clearly my factory is rapidly becoming a little bit of a mess. That's okay. It's what happens. It's going to be a little bit worse in time because we have a lot of resources to produce, right? I don't know if we need radio control units going forward. We'll figure that out. Right now, I don't know if those things need to be automated or not, but we'll find out. But for now, it's wrapping up point. So, Darryl20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Drones are so cool, and I love them. They are literally super awesome. So I hope you guys are as excited as I am because I think they're really neat. But for now, wrapping up point. So Darryl20 signing off. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Take it easy.